Cameron Stewart, locked on Baylor. Drake Toll, locked on Big 12. Kyle Whittingham, locked on Troll. He's done it again. He's done it again.
Yes.
Kyle Whittingham goes to Big Ten Media Days late last week, and my goodness, what a response he had, talking about the leadership it takes, the acumen, the veteran approach to rivalries. The direct quote from Kyle Whittingham is, I just think that a rivalry can be intense and emotional without the hatred factor. I don't think there's any place for that personally. My gosh. Well, the man who hated BYU, who drove this rivalry, who the man who created what the Holy War is in so many ways for saying, I hate BYU, my alma mater, BYU, might I add. That same man is now he's had an old man change of heart. This is like what happens after you have a heart attack. And you have a new lease on life.
Yeah.
The hatred has left my body. I love everybody should be nice to each other. Kyle Whittingham, who has, again, notably driven the hate of the game, now is saying that, hey, there shouldn't be rivalries, man. We should all just let ELE. Everybody love everybody.
Love everybody.
Whittingham has done it again.
Oh, this is the perfect idyllic college football world. As this sport that we know and love changes all around us, a lot of times for the worse, Kyle Whittingham is there to remind us what it's all about. And that's love. That's love. When I think of Michigan and Ohio State, I think of love. Okay, BYU, Utah, plenty of love. And Kyle Whittingham is just spreading it. It's the Brooklyn way. Spread the love. It does make me think a lot of one of my favorite college football coaches of all time. Now, I didn't watch this guy coach a game, but I just think his resume is fascinating. The name is John Cooper from Ohio State. Okay. Looking at the other side of that rivalry, he's a college football Hall of Fame coach. He won the Big Ten on a couple of occasions for Ohio State, won the Rose Bowl. Only guy with more wins than him in Ohio State history is Woody Hayes. Like, he should be a legend. You should have heard of him. You should have something named after him at Ohio State. But instead, in that tenure, 13 years, he was 2-10-1 against Michigan.
Oh.
And so he's like universally derided. Like nobody from Ohio State looks back fondly on the John Cooper era, and Eddie George's Heisman Trophy because they lost to Michigan all the time, man. So I wouldn't tread that water that way, Kyle. Like this is a rivalry, and you should be used to that because BYU Utah is also a pretty bitter rivalry. I was very surprised. Maybe he just thinks it's the old man bravado. It is. Like, I was supposed to die when I was basically fired at Utah. I was supposed to die, but now here I am. It would be like working at a startup media company for a couple of years and then suddenly getting one of like the best play-by-play jobs out there. Like you're all of a sudden it's a free hit. It's you've won, and now you could just be whoever you want to be. Kyle Whittingham, ELE.
The Indianapolis Clowns play-by-play job, even.
Ooh,
that could be one of them.
That's a good comp.
So Whittingham, notably in the rivalry, would never say the letters BYU. The guy graduated, played at BYU, was just a Cougar through and through.
He should get this. He should understand this. He should understand like the red X's on the M's at Ohio State, but it's not quite getting there yet.
He probably climbed the Y a couple times too. Yeah, I don't know. That's a new one for you. Cam will be at the Baylor BYU game, an invited guest, a special guest.
Can't wait, man.
Security detail, and you may climb the Y. I did it one time. Never again. Just the immediate hike just straight up the face of a mountain. Nice. And it's 193 degrees sometimes.
That's what it's going to be like for Kyle Whittingham if he doesn't start hating Ohio State.
This is the same Kyle Whittingham who climbed the Y, wore the colors, had the blue, was a Cougar. He calls his mom, I'm committed to BYU. Dreams come true. Yeah. And then in coaching Utah, refused to say the letters BYU, refused to call them the Cougars. Now,
which, by the way, great move.
Yeah.
Great move.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yes.
Great move.
I commend Kyle. And so here's where BYU and Utah fans can get mad at me. Here's the take you might agree with. I think Kyle Whittingham handled the BYU rivalry perfectly at Utah.
Yeah.
by hating BYU. What
Right.
helps it grow? What helps it get better? What helps opposing fan bases really muck it up and they hate you is you hating them. You being a massive troll. And Whittingham was just a massive troll to BYU for decades. And it made the rivalry one of the best in all of college football. One of the most hated rivalries in college football. Two teams that just loathe each other is because of you. So the troll job continues when he goes to Michigan. It's like, I preach love. I preach respect. It's like, what?
It's almost like he is just trying desperately to be different. BYU, Utah, they hate each other, but they're such great people all the way around for the most part, right? It's really nice. It's really nice atmosphere when they're not playing each other, right? They're nice fan bases. And Kyle Whittingham's like, you know what? Let's bring some hatred in here. Now he goes to a place where there's real, legitimate, very real hatred. And he's like, oh, man, spread love, bro. Peace, love, dope. But like that, you make a good point in there of like, he kind of changed the narrative around that rivalry for a lot of outsiders who are not part of the BYU Utah world. We're talking about Independent and Mountain West at the time. So there weren't a lot of people nationally that knew what this was, but you understand this when you see the M's crossed out at Ohio State, or Woody Hayes calling them that team up north, or even to bring it back to the Big 12, like Baylor TCU, when that rivalry was at its peak, it's because two coaches hated each other, Gary Patterson and Art Briles, and they would take shots at each other and at their schools in the media. Like that is what fuels this thing. Not that Kyle Whittingham is ever really going to douse the flames here of Michigan, Ohio State, but there's history there. If you don't embrace what this thing is, history is not going to be on your side. You know, Jim Harbaugh was nearly canned because he just couldn't beat Ohio State, man. They were winning 10 games a year, but they couldn't beat Ohio State or Michigan State. It's really, I know you got a new lease on life, Kyle, but I would suggest embracing this thing the way you've already done in your career and been pretty successful with.
He's a born-again football coach, man.
He's baptized in the river of ball.
Of Ann Arbor, in the middle of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Baptized in Lake Michigan. It's a good lake, by the way. It's good. I'm a Lake Michigan guy.
Really?
Milwaukee. Got sand, dude.
Chicago.
Nicer than that's the concrete of Chicago. Yeah.
It's good beach day.
When we return, BYU has changed its student ticket process, and it kind of rocks, actually. But the students hate it.
We should all take notes.
Locked on Big 12, locked on Baylor. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Look, I wanted to go see Argentina versus England a couple weeks ago. I went. And I went for pretty darn cheap comparatively, thanks to Game Time. There are more live events than ever worth seeing right now. Games, concerts, comedy shows, festivals. Hard part usually isn't deciding what you want to attend. It's the affording it and seeing how you get there. And oh my gosh, where are the tickets? Where are the seats? That's why so many fans turn to Game Time. The app is built to make buying tickets easy. Upfront pricing, seat views, and exclusive saving opportunities that help you get to the events that you want. Like I said, wanted to go Argentina, England. I did. Like my biggest pet peeve, like not being able to see the seat or like, oh man, this fake big price. No, Game Time just tells you, hey, here's what you get. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with every type of event. And with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today with Game Time.